Hi, this is Karen Ann Archer, and welcome back to my studio. Today we're finishing up the drawing stage of Baby's First Christmas. We're going to finish up on the face. I brought this larger picture down so we can take a look. Okay, I have my titanium white, Van Dyke brown, alizarin crimson, burnt umber, and yellow ochre. Gotta make sure I tell you right. I have my Gamsol ready to go. Can't forget our paper towels. A couple of them. Alright, again we're going to go back into getting our wash. Taking Van Dyke brown. Move it over here. I like a little bit of that alizarin crimson in there. And this is our darkest dark on the shadows. I hope I'm holding that up enough for you to see it. Okay, I'm going to wash my brush. Go ahead and get that middle tone mixed up. Taking the burnt sienna is, if I mix up the color names, I do apologize. Some of them are so close. Burnt umber and burnt sienna is really close in color. That's the yellow ochre. Mix that up a little bit. We're going to loosen that paint up to a wash, and we're ready to go. Alright, so we're going to start in the middle tone. Notice I'm rolling the brush. It's kind of just sharpening it to make it a little easier in drawing. This is a two round. Alright, we got a lot of the darks up here, so we're going to go back in. Put a little dark. Just putting in the colors that I can take a dry brush and go and rub it in where I want it. So this comes around the cheek. So I'm going to go down and around. Right up underneath that eye. Inside that eye is pretty dark. Dry it off on paper towel and get a tad bit of the dark. I'm going to bring it right in here. Come around that eye. No, we're also going to keep in mind we're going to leave a white of the eye there. Then I'm going to take just the yellow ochre, and I'm going to move some of the medium tone we got mixed up and move into it. And I'm going to put the eye in kind of light for now because it's dark in this picture, but we may not leave it that color, so I'm just kind of putting them where they go. Okay, now we're going to do some measurements. Those run straight across, so I want my eyes to run straight across, and they don't quite do that, so I'm going to have to move that eye up. Just going to check and make sure. See how if I take my brush, they're right across from each other. So you want to just check it, make sure they're right across from each other. This eye is a little bit more in. You can't really see the... Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Again, we're going to go back to the medium tone. Right here underneath his eyes, dark. So we're going to go, remember keeping those eyes straight. So I'm going to go back right underneath of it and push that color in. We'll get that nose in here in just a bit. Now it comes up and around. Remember the anatomy of the eye is round. So we're going to push the color back up in here. Land a little bit while we're up in there. Okay, I'm pretty pleased with that. Okay, let's go ahead and put this nose in. I'm going back to the medium tone. The nose, and we're going to pay attention to the highlight instead of the shape of the nose. So the dark area runs around and across. So we're going to take it from here, drag a lot of this darker color with us, and it runs across the nose. Now the nose, we want to get some of the anatomy correct, you're going to have to line your picture, paintbrush up, and see it kind of runs in a line from that shadow up across his nose. So we're just going to kind of use that in ours as to kind of give us, don't go down this far. So his nose is kind of up here. It's a way to help draw it in and get everything where it kind of needs to be. The nose is here. Alright. Now, we may go ahead and do some blending. Now, so if that stops there, it just got a little bit of the nose and from the mouth down. So let's pick another spot on the baby to make sure that the ear's where it needs to be. Next, we're going to come down here from this eye to the point here. So we're going to kind of line that up. Make sure that kind of lines up. And to the top of the eye. So I'm pretty satisfied where this ear lays. Can go ahead and take a little dark here. The inside of his ear is really dark and it's a triangle. Let's go ahead and put that in for a reference point for drawing. I'm not going to do a lot of detail over here right now. Okay, and so from the tip of the ear here, which take a little bit of brown so we can go ahead and decide where that tip's going to be. I'll put that tip in here because there's a little bit of darkness. Comes down. Okay, so that tip of the ear is here and it drags all the way up to the nose. So if you move it straight from here to there, that's where the mouth is. So we'll make sure the mouth, the bottom of the mouth is pretty much where it needs to be. If you go halfway up the ear, then that's where the top of the mouth will end. So we'll kind of please where that mouth is located from the other day. So we'll leave it alone. We're going to estimate the nostrils being about here then. We're going to do it in the middle value. Pretty liking that. There's a little bit of darkness here on the lip. Back to that middle tone. And so that tells me that this may need to come down just a hair. I'm going to get that darkness of the nose right there. So that means the crack of the nose is here. That cheek is going to run down. Pick up a little bit more paint. Do the little whooshy woo underneath the nostril. And then it goes down to a straight, cast that straight light right here. So I'm going to put that in. Now this side of the nose is really light, so we're going to have to draw it in by putting the cheek a tad darker, which will lighten this up because it's not quite that dark. Alright, now, a little bit of darkness here. There's a lot, actually pretty dark color here. And the light kind of comes down. We got our big old wrinkle here. Alright, now, I'm going to put the paintbrush down. I'm going to put the palette down. We're going to pick up that cheap Walmart brush. I was talking to my mom today and she was like, Karen, I don't know how you should keep saying things are cheap, but you know, if I can use cheaper products, supplies, in what areas I can to save money, by all means, I'm going to tell you. You can use those cheap Walmart brushes for the blending. It also, blending you do like scrubbing, so you may tear up your good brushes, so that's another reason I like it. Now I'm going from light to dark, trying to make sure I show you how much I'm wiping my brush. When that brush stay pretty dry. Lighten that up a tad bit in there. He's got some darkness in the earlobe. Leave that alone. Let's come back up here and blend all this. I'm going to go up because his eyebrows here. We'll draw the eyebrow in later. Babies don't have a whole lot of defined eyebrows. We're going to just apply little bits of hair because, you know, baby fine hair. So push that back up in there. Blend it into the hat. Alright. Now, Want all these sharp lines out of here. A lot of wiping at this point. Get that shadow down in there. Crease there. And the more you get done in this stage, it's going to be so much easier on you when you paint. Now, I want this to be a little bit lighter than that, so I'm going to go back, dip in that darkest area, because this is a pretty strong shadow. Put a tad bit in there. That's my good brush, so I want to wash it clean. Another thing about your brushes, don't run off and leave your brushes with paint on them. Put them in Gamsol, wash them real good, and dry them with your paper towel off, and then set them. You know, you can mistreat these cheap ones, but you're going to be buying them a little bit more often if you do. Better care you do of your brushes, the longer you're going to have them. That's just common sense. Dipping it back in the Gamsol. This area right here is lighter, so I'm going to bring it out. Try and keep my hand up here so you can see how much I'm wiping. Okay, kind of like that. Blend this area a little bit. Now, that nose, pushing it up. Pushing it up and trying to get that little bit of circle in there. Pushing the color of the paint back. Bring the nostril back down. And I've got this line here too up too far. That shadow's way too far up. So we're going to go back in, medium tone. We're going to line it back up to the ear, and we need to really come down on that cheek. Bring it to here. Okay, we're going to, there's a wrinkle here. His face. There's a line there. I'm not adding any more paint. There's a light shadow here. So put that in. It's a little dark now. I'm going to wash that good brush, dry it, and set it aside. Now, just coming in here and blending this. I don't really want sharp lines. Putting that paintbrush down so you can, or that palette down so you can see how much I'm wiping. And I'm really rubbing. I'm really taking some rubbing in there. And over here to the ear. Okay, I'm going to blend this one out a little bit. Push that paint where I kind of want it to go. You ain't got much. Got a tad bit of shadow here. And I haven't dipped this in there, but I knew there was some of this paint. So I'm kind of just using a little bit of that paint, put in there. Because I know it's heavy on paint because I haven't dried it for a couple times. You'll get used to how much when you're doing this. Now, dry the paint off so it shouldn't have a lot on it. And I can soften that lines. I'm getting pretty happy with this. Now, let's go in and do some final blending. We're going to do some final blending. With a Q-tip. Put that brush down, because that way I can really rub. And when you see this shake, you can kind of get an idea how much I'm rubbing. I'm just going to go in and rub to blend. Okay, it's really not. I'm going to add that white here in a minute. Okay, that baby's lips are really light. So that whiteness. Now this, remember me telling you, even when you're rubbing, try to keep in, we want that chin to be round, so we need to rub round. That cheek's round, so I'm rubbing round. Again, brush strokes. And when you do your rubbing and you're blending, the way you're blending and moving will really matter. And really, see how it's kind of getting the depth in there? Now this eye right here, I'm not really that, where I can't take this paint out that well. I'll fix that with paint. If I had done it before that area dried, that last time we were working on it in the last video, that would have worked out a little bit better, but I know to fix it in paint. Because even though it dried on me, I can still fix it. This time I'm going to dip the Q-tip in the Gamsol. We're going to go get our brightest white back in here, which is around that nostril. Hopefully I'm not sticking my head where y'all can't see. Let me move back a little bit. And if I need to, I can get the brush out to take some out. Dipped it. There we go. This is going to help us out right here. Now, I've applied the Gamsol on there, so I can take a rub with a dry. And I think I'm not going to get much more rubbing out of that. Probably as light as it's going to get. So I'm going to take this brush, dry it, come back in and just apply the nose. Alright, for drawing purposes right now, I'm taking the Walmart paintbrush. Add a little bit, whoop, dry it off on my paper towel. Bring it back in because we're losing some of our drawing here. Now, I can't rub any more out because it's dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to take into the white and put a lighter wash over the darker, so it won't be as bad when we go back to paint it. I'll shape that eye up where we want it. It comes around, it kind of stops. And then we're not going to rub in that, we're just going to let it sit. While I got that little lightest light, there is bright light here. And a lot of that bright light here. I want a little bit of that up. I'm going to go back in and add a little bit more. And it's real loose paint, it's just lighter. I'm just going to draw up the nose in a little bit. I couldn't get it to rub out. A clean Q-tip. We'll blend this color in that we've added right here. Blend this color out. Back and pick up. I'm not happy where those nostrils are. They really should be a little bit closer together. There's the little, I think you can kind of see it on me a little bit right here, this line that separates your lips. There it is right there. That's what you're trying to get in right here. And it starts right here on the base of your nose. That right there. And it really shows up on his because the light hits it. So, back and just dot the, now, I'm going to go back with the Q-tip. Kind of take away that hard line, that sharp line. Blur that back out a little bit. Now, I think we're almost to the point where we want to stop. A few more things, a few details we want to kind of add in. There's a whiteness of his eye right here. We're going to go ahead and put that in. Just kind of whiteness back in his eye so we're aware that it's there. It's a little white. Around his lip gets pretty white. There's a couple of dots of light here on his nose, which is going to be like a highlight right here. I want to go ahead and rub that out. And it's here too. And a little round area. Flipping it over to a drier part. I want it there, but I want it softly there. This is really light. Let's see how much we lighten it up. Okay, I think we've pretty much got the baby's face laid in for painting. We know where we're at. So I'm pretty pleased on leaving here, and we've gotten all our washes in, all our tones. We know what is the darkest darks, where's our mediums, where's our lights. We've got that ready to go painting, and it at this point almost looks like a finished painting, but we haven't even really started putting the paint on. We've just gotten in our tones. So that'll be in the next video. We'll see if we can get it all done in one video, but thank you for coming and seeing me.